Hello, this is Dr. Anastasia Choplis, the Scientific Healer. Today's video is about the financial abuse that happens in marriage and divorce, often involving the theft of marital assets and then the recovery through lawyers during and after the divorce. Some of you may be facing this very thing. Let me tell you all about Carrie. Carrie had properties and a reasonable amount of wealth after retirement from a government agency. She did this in her 50s. She thought she had enough to go through life. She's a very beautiful woman and thought she had attracted the love of her life. He wooed her and treated her like a queen. She was only too happy to marry him and did not take the usual precautions of a prenuptial agreement because he carried on as if he had a lot of money as well. And you can almost tell what's coming in the tale. He didn't. He had spent all of his money, all the last of it, to make himself look like he had so much money and he knew how to live high on the hog, right? During their 3 to 4 year marriage, he was on the sly, somehow taking her assets. I don't know how. It couldn't happen to me, but I don't know how. But he ended up taking her assets and selling off properties and somehow transferring it. So she lost a lot of money. And when everything that he could do had come to an end, like he couldn't get into her safety deposit box and things like that. So everything that he could possibly do to her had finished. He wanted a divorce. And when her lawyers started going through her assets, they discovered that he had absconded with hundreds and thousands of dollars of her money. And she was beside herself because here she is in her mid-50s, thinking that she had the rest of her life to be comfortable. She had to go back to work. And she went to work at a university where she actually got an advanced degree. But right after this divorce had been going on for 8 years, and she hadn't gotten anything out of it, despite all of the filing claims of discovery, like all she did was work to pay her lawyer to help get, because she thought that she could get and recover all that money back. And mine went on for only 2, so I can't imagine it going on that long. And mine was relatively harmless in comparison to this. So when she came to me for another reason. And as she told me this story, I sat there really horrified and feeling how her energy had just plummeted as she was telling me this story, that I suggested a relationship clearing for her. So I ran through the processes of cutting all of the energetic ties between them and removing all of the previous energetic agreement and clearing up all the karmic agreements that they had made with one another, that she was to have lived out in this lifetime with this man. And as that happened, she felt this big sense of relief, but she also never felt that she would see a dime of her money, and she was beginning to give up hope. So I met her. She had signed up for a longer VIP program, so I was doing weekly healings on her for a period of 3 months, which is my minimum package. I can custom make it to however you need it, but that's the minimum amount of time that it takes to rewire the energetic habits that are going on. I don't wave a magic wand and go poof, you're well, even though I could, because all of the energetic habits are still there and things will devolve back to where you started. So what I like to do is retrain your body so it can learn how to have the new habits and get healthy, what appears to be gradual and naturally, but and the results you see are right away, but in other words, I don't want it coming back. I don't want to see you again, or I want to only see you on a maintenance plan. And so I want to be obsolete in your life, in other words. Not that I don't love you, I do. But so I as we talked, in the 3rd week after that we did that relationship clearing, she goes, "You know what just happened?" I go, "No, what?" She says, "I just got a $45,000 check in the mail." And she says, "I never thought I'd see a dime." So somehow the relationship clearing had shooken loose this money that was caught up in this energy web, and allowed her to have it. So you have a lot of old energies that are within you, and they're mostly from what you've experienced in this current life. Only a very small fraction are past life and ancestral. It's usually something that happens when you're a child, and usually before the age of 7. When I'm reading someone, I'm given a vision. Either it's metaphorical or it is direct. I'm given a vision of what the main issue is, and then I'll say what I'm seeing, and people go, "Oh yeah, that sounds about right," because I tell them the metaphorical vision, and then I explain to them how I interpret that, right? And sometimes it could mean something else to someone. So in her case, I knew as she was telling me this that there was something that was like a ball of energy, which can be anything, but it looked like money to me, and it got released as we cleaned that all up. And she probably got more. I haven't spoken to her in a little while, but every once in a while we bump into each other and we have a chat. But here we are. It's like once you're in my life, you never go unless you don't like me and say ta-ta, goodbye. Anyway, you can get your free relationship healing. It is a live healing that I did for 40 participants, and it happened to be over the phone, but the carrier waves carry the energy healing and get recorded into a device. I've listened back to many of my recordings, and I could feel the energy moving as I'm listening. And then I ask other people who are sensitive, and they say the same thing. So we know that it works. I've talked with a number of people that are into the energy world, and they also claim the same thing. You can get it by going to scientifichealer.com/clear-now. And you can join me live beginning of February, and it'll be every month or every other month after that, where we will interact live through the internet, of course, like on Zoom or on Facebook Live. And when you're ready to take that step to go further and learn some of the energy healing techniques that I'm talking about in any of these videos, go to scientifichealer.com/appointments. The links that I mentioned are in the notes below. If you like this video, click on the thumbs up button below, share it with your friends, and be sure to click on the little button down here that says subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.